Hey friends, good day to all. Today we are going to learn about the first week of development under the pre-embryonic period. So if you have watched my previous video classes, you will definitely understand better because we have already discussed in detail about the different periods and the ages of human embryology as well as the classification of those periods. So if you didn't watch those videos, I highly recommend you to please go and watch. I have put in the I button that is at the top right corner of this screen. My dear friends, so when you see here, I have put here the timeline, and this timeline is of post-conceptional or ovulation age, and this is 38 weeks. You can watch my previous video. I have dealt in detail what is the difference between post-conceptional as well as the gestational age. So my dear friends, here this pre-embryonic period is lying here. This is 1, 2 and 3 weeks, and after 4, 5, 6, and this coming under the embryonic, and this last is the fetal or the post embryonic period. So we are here, and in that we are dealing the first week under the pre-embryonic period. So now let us come to the point. Here, what is the first week of development? Actually, the first week of development is defined as it starts with the fertilization process, and ends with an important process, that is the implantation. Okay, by the way, in between, during this process it starts and ends, but what is going in between? And the in between, the cleavage is also taking place, that is the cell division cycles. Okay, so it is starting from fertilization, going through the cleavage, and at last ending with the implantation. These are all the events that are going in the first week of development, and we will try to deal in detail about the fertilization, cleavage and implantation in our near classes. So here we try to deal the fertilization process in detail. So how all these events are occurring. So as we all know that fertilization is the process of fusion of two mature germ cells, and how these germ cells are produced, I have taken my detailed classes on the gametogenesis and separate on the spermatogenesis and oogenesis. I have put in the I button at the top right corner. You can watch that. So here the fusion of these two mature germ cells, one is the ovum, another is a sperm. Sperm is coming from the male and ovum from the female, and these two get fused to form a single cell that is known as a zygote, and this is all coming under, this is all known as a fertilization. And another name for the fertilization is also the conception. Don't confuse, your conception is also known as a fertilization. So my dear friends, if you see in this picture, you can here learn the basics of how all the fertilization is taking place. So first, as we all know, the insemination process occurs, and due to the copulation, the sperm cells are being transferred from the male to the female vagina, and from the female vagina they transfer from here to the cervix of the uterus. And here there is a role of uterine contraction. So there are many mechanisms by which they are being assisted, and a mechanism of aspiration, that is a syringe like action, that is aspirating the sperm from the vagina to the cervix, and from here into the fallopian tube, and at last they reach at the ampulla or the ampullary isthmus junction. So this is all the isthmus, and here is the ampulla. Okay, so here is the ampullary isthmus junction or the ampulla, they reach here. And at the other hand, here the ovary is releasing its secondary oocyte, that is the ovum, by the process of ovulation. We have already dealt it. So from here they enter the fimbria catch those secondary oocytes, ovum, and this ovum will enter into the ampulla and reach at the common site, and at this site the fusion process takes place. But one thing you have to note, that the structure of ovary is not simple, it is being barricaded. Barriers are there around the nucleus of the ovary. We have dealt that. So those barriers have to be overcome in order to the entry of the sperm. So the sperm cannot directly enter into the ovum. Okay, so for all those things there are special mechanisms. Okay, so we'll be dealing in detail about those things, and for your better understanding I have put another image here from the anatomy. So this is how the classification of the fallopian tube is. So first here are the fimbria who are catching the ovum, the female gamete from the ovary, and from here they enter into the infundibulum, and infundibulum to the ampulla, and here is the ampullary isthmus junction, and from here the sperm is coming and they get fertilized. Next, let us write all those process in a flow chart so that we can understand better. So my dear friends, the usual site is usually the ampulla or ampullary isthmus junction. Okay, ampulla or ampullary isthmus junction. So the first what is taking place, the sexual intercourse, and this is very important, and this sexual intercourse is leading to the transfer of the sperm, and in that what is helping, uterine contractions, and this is the mechanism by which that is taking place. Another mechanism is aspiration of gametes, and then the sperm is getting attracted towards ovum by a process of chemotaxis. We deal in detail in next further classes. So then what is happening, then the release of acrosomal enzymes. So these enzymes will go and disintegrate the barriers, and these barriers after the disintegration they are free to fuse. The fusion of sperm with vitelline, that is the plasma membrane of ovum, takes place, and it triggers the one wave, that is a calcium wave. It triggers, and this calcium wave preventing polyspermy. So only one sperm can only enter, no? So how is all this process taking? In a nutshell, I am explaining all these things, but in detail in further classes we are going. Don't afraid. Okay, so here after this what is taking place, then the nuclear fusion occurs. Here the fusion of sperm with the just the vitelline membrane, but here the nuclear fusion is taking place, that is known as the syngamy, and the formation of zygote takes place. So now in order to study all these process in detail, we classify them into categories, and A, B and C. So let us categorize them into A, B and C. So see here, this from here to here we categorize into A, and we name as the approximation of gametes. That means both gametes are approximating. All these processes are named under the approximation of gametes, and from here, and these all the process from here till these are named under the contact and fusion. So we will study these process under the heading contact and fusion. And at last the C is the effects. What are all the effects? Effect of fertilization, that is another topic, so that will be studied under the C. So all these three headings will be dealing in detail in further classes. Okay, so with this we end this class, and please do subscribe if you didn't do, and like the video and share with your friends who are bioscience students on your social media accounts like WhatsApp. Thank you for watching. Keep supporting. Have a nice day. Until then, goodbye.